But once again, I want to emphasize that I too am all for athletic facilities, but I am very strongly concerned about safety along Route 3.
Mr. Priestley, would what I suggested work for you also, that I check on that to see if we can use it, and if we can, consult with the town of Hamlin, the mayor, and see if we can do something cooperatively to collaborate somehow to make this happen. Because if it is a safety issue and is a walkway that we need for the town, then maybe there's a lot more money available for something like that instead of the walk bridge.
Anything that could enhance the
Yeah.
safety, I'm for.
Right.
I'm just saying, even if we do have a walkway on either side of the road, not having a bridge is going to be a problem in my opinion. It bothers me that we aren't having that bridge for a lot of reasons. So, but if our only other alternative is if we have some kind of walkway that keeps them from, try to walk up and down that road there where there's not even a berm. Somebody, you try to tell me that that's not hazardous. It is. And people are going to do that, and students are going to do that. But yeah, I agree with you. If we can look at some other way of trying to address that, I'm for it, although I still say the walk bridge was the best way to address it.
It's my understanding that we have as many children now walking to McDonald's after school as we do back towards Hamlin. So are we going to later on pursue a bridge towards McDonald's?
Well, that was mentioned to me by somebody, I won't mention, at the board office, that said that there was the thought going by there's sort of much traffic going up that way, not a bridge, but a walkway being developed from the high school bridge up to McDonald's.
And I think McDonald's has agreed to help fund that.
Yeah. I think it would be great if we had a walkway from Griffithsville to Hamlin. If we had walkways everywhere, I mean, it'd be wonderful. But I just know where the student population is and where they travel every day. Anybody who doesn't think that kids go back and forth all the time is being a little naive, and I say that in a respectful way.
Well, I respectfully disagree with you, and what I'm basically saying is that I understand if there is a safety concern, I would think that the principal of the high school and our superintendent, Mr. Roach, would take care of that with students to get on the buses after school and actually be taken from school home.
What if
That's
they
why
don't ride the bus?
Excuse me. But the problem is the buses are there to pick them up from school, pick them up at their home and bring them to school. Now, if a student, or I would say that a parent, feels like it's safe for their child to walk down Route 3, you know, you probably may want to check with the parents. I mean, because if it's such a safety issue, then I don't think the parents would probably let their children walk down Route 3 if it was that bad. Now, as far as if we can use this money for a walkway, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, if we're talking about the safety of the children right now, we need to address the safety of the children. You know, as far as getting on the bus, if they're walking from the road right there beside the school, or I should say beside the football field, they can be picked up at the place called Thacker's, if that's what they're going to do, to come around the curve with a bus. I'm sure we could work that out. In the meantime, because as of right now, the safety would probably needed to be addressed right now. Because if we wait on a grant, we're probably going to be waiting for 2 years to get a walkway built. That's what I'm saying. It probably needs to be addressed right now. I'm not saying I'm not in favor of a walkway. I'm just saying that, you know, if we're putting a walkway in that is going to extend further up the road all the way to Hamlin, instead of, I was under the indication that this walkway was because we had students that were going to the athletic facilities because that wasn't housed on campus. That was my, you know, that was my thoughts. That's why I thought we were having a bridge, is because we had an influx of people who were actually going from the school because we didn't have everything housed on site. And we don't. And I understand that. But there are buses that go to the field for athletics. And you know, there's buses that take people home. There are buses that pick people up. I don't think, you know, that, you know, what we have done, concentrating our efforts on a footbridge, we have wasted a lot of, and I'm not saying to use this money for the athletic facilities. I'm saying we're wasting Dana Smith's time and the efficiency of our personnel right now basically on a moot point of a bridge. And I think that energy would be well served in other areas. Because if we can house everything at the school, then we would probably not have a problem if Mr. Roach and the principal of the school would address the traffic whenever students are let out of school and for students who are coming to school in the morning. I'm sure that the principal of the school, if we're talking about walking, or if we're talking about a student who's riding a four-wheeler to school, I'm sure that would not be allowed. So I think the principal and the superintendent could probably work with those people who are walking to school, and because of their safety, we could have them to catch the bus. And if they are walking to school after school hours, then they need to be admitted. They need to have someone to bring them instead of strolling into the school and to admit them into the school. If they are leaving early, then they should have notification of who is picking them up. I don't think we have an open campus there. And I think that, you know, as far as if there is a safety concern, Mr. Roach, I'm sure you will address that, will you or will you not, with the principal of the school?
I will definitely address it as to what I can address.
Right. As far as the traffic, as far as the walkway, will you contact the town of Hamlin to see what they would like to do, if they would like to help us to secure funds, and see if we could use this money, since we are not doing the bridge, if we can use this money for a walkway?
I think, yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Is there anything else?
Yes, sir. I would like to comment to your comments. Once again, this was a multifaceted project.
I understand. That's
Well,
what.
you applied now.
No,
Let
excuse me.
Now, I have the
Go
floor,
ahead.
please. The implication that you just said was that that the whole sole purpose of it was to get students back and forth. That was one facet of it. The other part was the other things involving the town, and that's what we said it before. The other thing, once again, students, unfortunately, you can put a bus there at a given time to take them over there. I wish everybody was there on time, but they aren't going to be. Maybe you would like some comments there, how you address students that come in late. You know, kids always come in late, and that those that leave early. Unfortunately, I think that's going to happen. Some parents don't supervise their children as well as they should. So they, you know, no matter how many things we try, there's always going to be problems. Once again, I'm reconciled with the fact apparently there's going to be a bridge. My only comments is I still say that was the best solution. If it's not going to be that way, it's not going to be. But I will always maintain that that was the safest way to address this problem.
May I say something?
I'm going to rebuttal.
Okay.
I agree with you. If we could have had a footbridge, that would be a safe way of transportation. But unfortunately, it's not, we cannot do that. It's not feasible. And if we are dealing with safety, then I am sure that, you know, that's why we have regulation. That's why we have policies that we should enforce at the school. And that is the order of the principal, and that is the order of the superintendent. Now, you know, we need to let them take care of that. And we also need to address that with the parents. You know, if there is such a safety concern, then I think the parents need to be notified if we have people who are walking to school. The same thing if we have people who are riding four-wheelers to school, or anything else of that matter. Because the safest way for basically that we have, and that's why, you know, is a bus. That's why we run buses. And that's what the students need to do. Go ahead.
I think we all agree that a sidewalk, the bridge is kind of a little point. And we all agree that if these funds can be used for a